Alright,
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is It Was All a Dream with the Odd Squad.
what's going on? My name is Dana George, Legacy Planet 83.
And I'm your boy, the Salty and Lit Coach, your favorite coach's favorite coach.
Hey.
You like that, right, DJ? So, something we're going to talk about today is self-care. All right?
Alright.
So, I don't know if, you know because I texted you, but you guys might not know. Monday was National Self-Care Day.
I did not know that.
And ironically, it was also National Tequila Day. So I feel like that could not have been a coincidence.
It went hand in hand.
Yeah, it went hand in hand. But all jokes aside, I think self-care, and I'm sure you'd agree, is super important.
And just in case you guys hear a little background noise, we're actually outside enjoying the weather, and there's a lot of cars. It's traffic time.
At an
But yeah.
undisclosed location.
Undisclosed.
Undisclosed.
Can't tell you.
They're not paying us for this.
But when it comes to self-care, I think it's beyond important, and I think it's something that's really overlooked. I think in our society, we're taught to, you work 40 hours, but work 50, 60, 70, 80 hours, and you're celebrated. You're celebrated for that stuff. You're celebrated for wearing yourself down. You're celebrated for being like an actual zombie. You're celebrated for that person who doesn't hang out with their friends and family. I think self-care is something that has a lack of awareness, and it's not put out there enough.
It's almost look like you're kind of weak. Like you're kind of weak if you, and not in my eyes, but in the eyes of society and culture, you're kind of weak.
You never thought it was a weak thing.
At a certain point, I did.
Of course,
You know what I'm saying?
because we were taught that bust your butt, work even harder, and there's no self-reward.
None. And you just keep going and going and going.
Yes, and then that's when you meet people who are a little bit older, and then they tell you it's like, oh, I wish back in my day I should have, I wouldn't have done that. And I forgot actually what the numbers, because I had looked this up before, and I'll have to look it up again about how many people leave vacation time throughout the year and paid time off and sick time. It's actually a lot higher than what people think it is.
Wait, say it again?
People don't use their vacation time, their sick time, and their paid time off, because you're just looked at as inferior if you decide to not go to your job and just slave over it every day and take time off to go to the beach.
Yeah. And I was just talking about this the other night with one of my friends, and I told her, how sad I think it is. The way we live in this country is sad, because we're not designed to spend majority of our time at work. We're not designed to spend
As humans,
a majority, as human, and with coworkers and doing stuff away from our family. You know what I'm saying? Where, you're busting your ass 6 days a week, because, Sundays you're stressing about Monday, or Saturday you're doing chores. So, all the chores you can't do during the week because you're tired, you stack up for Saturday.
True.
And maybe if you're lucky, you have sometimes Sunday, right?
I didn't even thought about that part. That's right. There's so many times where all right, it's Saturday. I didn't get to do this work around the house Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because I was traveling and sitting at work the whole time. So now I'm coming home Saturday to do all this work and not spend any more time with my loved ones.
Yeah, I hit up Ray. I'm like, yo, Ray, you want to get the boys together on Saturday? And
meanwhile, he hit me up, guys. But
I knew I was going to see you tonight. You know what I'm saying? This conversation happened a couple hours ago.
Whew,
so Ray said, I would love to, but I got a ton of yard work to do all day. And I'm like, well, you work 5 days a week, and he's like, I got to get it done, bro. It's got to get done.
And that's just how we are, just how we are programmed. I mean, I am the front. I do like yard work. It is like a wind down for me. But what is it that you like to do to wind down? Really think about it. So with my coaching, that's the biggest thing, believe it or not, is what they taught me. And it's probably the hardest thing for me to implement, is actually to stop, take time for yourself. So you could be, Matt and I, a family person. We have our kids, we have our family, we have our responsibilities, but you legitimately do have to take time for yourself so you can refill your cup, as they say, so you can help everyone else out.
Yeah, and for all the guys watching, there was a Harvard study done that said men need 2 nights with just the guys going out. So 2 male bonding nights a week, in order for a man to be mentally healthy.
And I definitely,
I don't know if the wives are gonna like that, but
I definitely believe that because we haven't hung out in a few months. We let other things
I
get in the
miss you,
way.
bro.
Yeah, I miss you too. But with us, even like we were just doing more of the recordings, it was just like that bonding that we get. It had nothing to do with females, nothing to do with alcohol. It was just the male bonding, and it definitely goes a long way. Is there a female study? I don't know. Maybe there is. I'm just talking about the guys right now. That it is very important that you do have that time off, whether you're a mom or a dad, to take the time off for yourself. So if you like the manicure, the pedicure, the back massages, if you like just going to the beach and chilling, going for a walk. The other day, I think it was Sunday, I was just like, I have to go for a walk. And I went to my local park and just started walking in the back trails over there. And it was crazy. It was funny because the night before, my wife and I saw this movie called Backyard Country or something like that. And it was about a bear with people hiking in the woods. Now, I know there's nothing out there, but every time I heard a bird move around, I was like, "Yo, it could be that bear." But still, I still did what I had to do, and it made a big difference of just taking that time out, for yourself.
Yeah. So something, one of my clients, they
Oh,
they
time out. All right, so I don't know if Matt has really announced it.
no, I've made.
You made
Go ahead,
announcements,
go.
okay? But yeah, but let's do it right here again. So when we were doing this a little bit more often, it was a few months back. Matt mocked my coaching. This is years back, but Matt mocked my coaching.
Mock.
Got
What-
in, got into coaching because he understood the power of it. So the reason why I'm bringing up the mocking, because most people do, but I think as men as well, is that we do need therapy. We do need people to speak with and an outlet. And Matt actually got that. He said it made a change for him because it sort of made a change in me and it made a change for him. And now he has become a coach himself. So if you listen to this, give him a round of applause. Make sure you hear that. And if you do need coaching, I do highly recommend Matt.
Oh, my man.
Yeah.
My brother DJ, man.
He's gonna pay me later on.
that plug, man.
No shameless plug right there.
You know what I'm saying? So one of my clients, in the beginning, in the first, our first session or two, it came to my attention really quickly that this person really struggled with doing things for themselves. They're a phenomenal parent. They're phenomenal at their job. They're a single parent. They hold down the house. Like,
That's a lot.
perfect. This person does above and beyond. I guess superwoman. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to keep it gender neutral, Snowy, but superwoman. In every sense of the word, is somebody that could be admired.
Right.
But she was not practicing self care. She just asking her certain questions. What do you like to do? I'm like, well, why are you not doing it? And that brought up like a lot of emotions, for her. And that's something we've been working on, where it's okay to love other people. It's okay to take care of people. She's like a nurturer, so it's okay to take care of all these people, but you also have to take care of yourself. And in the weeks we've been working together, just seeing from where she was to where she is, in that sense, the confidence to go out and do something she wants to do, makes me super proud. And I want to brag about myself because, you know what I'm saying?
You did.
Yeah,
You made the
and,
change.
and that's an amazing feeling. To know I helped even that slight change. And just to speak to something that you were saying before, DJ, one of the activities I had this person do was an activity I call 101 Wants. And you just write down 101 things you want to do. Like, I want to go to the beach. I want to get a massage. I want to do this. I want to do that. And to get to 101 is pretty hard. And then, but if you go through that list, yeah, it makes you think. It makes you, what am I really about? And then when you review that list and you realize how little of those things you're actually doing, that should bring an awareness or an awakening.
Right.
Like, you got to do things to enjoy, because life is short.
Right. No, I definitely agree. And to sit down and to think about yourself, because that's what it is. Because sometimes, like when people want to do things for themselves, they feel like they're selfish, and I think that is a huge problem. It's like, all right, if I'm gonna go sit down at Hurricane Wings or whatever and just go eat by myself, like that's really selfish. It's not. Like you're really taking care of yourself. Now, if you do it all the time, you're not taking care of your
Yeah, it
responsibilities.
makes
That's something totally different. But in a responsible way, like to take care of yourself, to date yourself, to get that massage, to go to the movies. I actually did that a few months back, and it was just like I felt awkward. Like I felt in the beginning, I felt guilty and I felt awkward, and I was like, my coach is like, I challenge you to go ahead and do something like that. And it was weird, but it was very, very, it was very relaxing. And I highly recommend it. And I always thought it was weird that someone would do that. First of all, I always thought it was
like they had
weird.
no friends. Like you're looking like you look at this loser.
I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that's another reason. That was another thing is I thought it was that too.
Yep.
But and then also like sometimes it's people make it hard to be alone and just to take care of yourself. Like that is your time to like hit the reset button, and it's actually your time to recharge. So like if you were to try to sit there by yourself, you would probably play with your phone. You'd probably just text someone that you wouldn't even text. Like if someone told you don't hang out with no one, you would probably text someone. You would go on Facebook and scroll because you just need to feel like you're part of something instead of being part of yourself. And I think that's like really important.
Instead of being part of yourself.
Yeah, that was just off the cuff.
Yeah, man, that was pretty dope.
I know.
Yeah, I'm
Looking
not
for clients too, you know?
I'm not even sure what to say next, man. But yeah, I think that's I don't know, DJ.
What do you do?
Yo, so I mean,
Let's give them some ideas.
yeah, so there's things where I've incorporated where they're like just regular habits, like going to the gym. That's self care, right? That's keeping me healthy. That's relieving some stress. Journaling. I call it emotional dumping every day.
That's very important. By the
Yeah,
way. Go elaborate on that. That's
So emotional dumping is really, you set your clock. It could be like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and you just kind of just like an open stream of thought, and you just write down all the negative feelings and thoughts, and even as petty and stupid or foolish as it is, you just kind of get rid of it. And I swear to God, bro, I thought this was like the wackest. Oh, people who journal, they're so dumb. Like
I'm a journaler.
How's this gonna help me? It's already, and it's just like a release. It's like it's almost the same as talking to somebody. Like you're just letting it all out. You're processing it. Then you start saying stuff, and when you process it, it's kind of like, yo, maybe this wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
Right.
Or maybe I was wrong in this situation. And not only that, even if that doesn't happen, just releasing those negative, otherwise it's going to be a constant loop and a constant replay in your head. Like, oh, this person pissed me off. This person pissed me. You write about it. Now the loop is broken. It's out of your head.
And when you write about it, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you shouldn't be perfect when you're writing in it.
No.
Because you really want to just like the word dump is huge.
Exactly.
Because when you dump something out, you throw something out, there's nothing in order. You just write it all out. And when I do it, I just write it quick. I don't even think I spell words correctly. I just try to write it down. What's on my head and blah, blah, blah. Oh, this really bothered me. What was it? That's what bothered you? Wasn't that serious?
That's it.
And then like you'll get used to doing that. I recommend it if you're someone who like doesn't necessarily like what they do, and maybe do it before you get home. Because there's times where you think something didn't affect you, you bring it home to your spouse and your spouse and your kids.
Yeah.
And you don't even realize it. Like something you thought that was real petty didn't bother you, and it sat right here because you kept going on with work, but you left it right here. You did nothing with it. But if you could take the time out, legitimately, like it could take 5 to 10 minutes to do it. Right before you get to pull up to your house or pick up the kids, sit. Let me just write this out. Write all this bull crap out, and then boom. And then even another time, I don't know if this you're talking about, maybe doing it before bed, so you're not carrying things overnight and start off the day fresh.
Yeah, I think it's better to do it later in the day. Absolutely. Before you get home from work or before you go to bed, I'm not sure. I mean, it depends on how stressful your home life is too. You might have a whole nother 10 minutes to dump into after a couple hours.
That's why I said 2 times, because like you can bring stuff home. Like I know I had a bad habit of bringing stuff home, and you don't realize it. And then like you're not probably gonna take it out on a coworker, but unfortunately you can take it out on a loved one. So why not get it out before? Why not get it out before?
That's terrible too.
That is
right.
That's another whole story. But like that stuff happens. I'm guilty of it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely. And something I do, because once you get rid of all those negative thoughts, I try to replace it with positives, right?
Hmm.
So I write down 3 things I'm thankful for from that day or from the past 24 hours.
I like it.
And I think I've said this in another podcast, but that's something I do with my students. So the first 5 minutes of every class, they do an emotional dump and they do 3 things they're thankful for. And then on Thursdays, we do what's called Thankful Thursdays. And after they're done doing the journaling and everything, the kids share out loud. You know, everybody, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that. And some smart ass kids say, they'll always come up with some like, smart aleck answer, try to skirt the rules. You know what I'm saying? But um, but sometimes they'll say, oh, I'm not thankful for anything today. I'm having a bad day. And, I try to get them to focus on, like, even if you're having a bad day, there's still things we can be thankful
There's a
for.
ton of great things.
Like, did you brush your teeth today? And the kid's like, yeah, of course I brushed my teeth. And I'm like, there's some kids, maybe they don't have running water. Maybe they can't afford a toothbrush to brush their teeth. So you're doing something that not everybody's able to do. You got here safely. You didn't get into a car accident. You have 2 legs. You're breathing. You're getting education. You're going to get lunch today at school. Whether your parents could afford it or not, you're getting free lunch at school.
Right.
So there's a lot to be thankful for. You're just choosing to focus on the negatives.
That's wow. Because it legitimately like is a choice.
It's a choice.
Like it is a choice. And just to go back to like we were saying, it is a choice to not take care of ourselves. Like self-care. Like we put in a story in our head why we shouldn't do it. Why it doesn't look good. Like, no, you have to take care of yourself. Like, hands down. Like that's why you'll have people that's why we have mental issues. Besides their, chemical imbalance and this and the third. But there's people just legitimately like that are worn down, not taking care of themselves, and they take it out on everything and everyone else.
People have meltdowns.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I had asked you, and then I interrupted. I apologize. So you said some of the things that you do for self-care or taking the time out. What are the other things that you do?
So the journaling, physical stuff, like I take ice showers, every morning.
Oh, I need to.
And that's like a physical. So I'm like more so like I try to be very I said time apart. I do go to the movies by myself. Maybe once a week, once every other week.
Wow.
I have certain shows I like to watch. And I get stressed sometimes, right? Because I'm doing summer school right now. Then I have Mason. I'm working on my own book. I'm working on a book I'm writing with Joe, which we're not ready to tell the world about yet.
What you did.
But no details. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So then it's like all day from morning from 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. up until the night. Like I'm working. And then, but at a certain point, I'm like, you know what? I need to put this away. I'll take out a movie I want to watch or a book I've been, trying to read, and just
So reading.
Set time apart to make sure I'm doing something I want to do.
Reading's a good self.
I love to read, bro. We made that. I think you're gonna call cap on this, but for those of you that have been with us for a while, right? In January, DJ had said you're gonna read 12 books.
12
this
books.
year.
I'm on my 7th one.
And I said I was gonna read 24.
Don't tell me you did 24.
No, I did 27.
Hey!
I'm on my 28th book right now.
My man, right here, right.
Thank you. So I actually do like a fiction book and a nonfiction book at the same time. Like depending on the mood, like what I'm saying. I love going to the beach. So last Saturday, Mason was with his mom. I took the 11 o'clock ferry to over Davis Park.
Oof, that is self-care.
I had a nice, well, there's a whole story we could talk about in a second, but I had a nice spot, right? I could see the water. I was super close, and I just took out a book on the beach. And when I'm in that kind of mode, you know what I'm saying? I had a couple of Happy Dads. Happy Dads are like these hard seltzers. You know what I'm saying? I had them in the cooler behind my Tommy Bahama chair. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just lounging, like enjoying life. I get a little sweaty. I jump in for 5 minutes, ride some waves, come out and read. But when I'm in that kind of zone, like I don't want to read, a nonfiction book. Like I'm not trying to read like a person. That's not like the zone I'm in. If I could take out a nice fictional book, you know what I'm saying? Like a nice story to take me to like enough. And you just kind of melt. And it sounds like weird to even say this, but
no.
like I really just melted into that book. And I remember just it was the saddest, bro, I was so angry. The book, DJ, was the saddest book I've ever read in my life.
Can you give a shout out on what the book is?
Yeah, so there's this author, Mitch Albom. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Mitch. So I didn't know this. So I grew up watching him on ESPN. And then this past year, one of my classes, my curriculum, I had to teach a book by Mitch Albom, and I didn't even make the connection that was the same guy, whatever. And then I read this book with my class, and it was phenomenal. It was the name of the book was The Five People You Meet in Heaven. It was a super dope book, and I loved it. There's like spirituality, and one of the main messages was like life is short, so enjoy it and be kind to people. And actually, the main theme was you never know the impact you have on somebody else. Maybe one or two actions you did to help somebody could have changed, the whole course of their life. And it kind of gave like fictional stories about like a minor event sending somebody in the right direction or the wrong. It's such a good book, and I'm like, yo, this book was really good. So then he came out with another book, the sixth person you meet in heaven. You know what I'm saying? And then it was told from the perspective of somebody else in the original story. You know what I'm saying? But then, so I got really into him. He has about 10 books, and right now I'm on book number 9. So this last book.
All this year?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been reading. I'm getting really upset, and I'm getting stressed actually because I'm going to run out of books. Like I don't. I've been googling all like authors similar to Mitch Albom has been my Google search lately. You know what I'm saying? So the book I read, they tell you in the very beginning, like in the first chapter, they tell you it's about this is actually a true story about his life, and he had he's really involved in charities, and he's got this charity set up in Haiti where it's kind of running like an orphanage. So one of the girls in the orphanage gets brain cancer, okay, and there's no doctors in Haiti that can treat it. And in order for her to get treated in America, he kind of like has to adopt her. Oh, wow. So he like adopts and brings her to America just so she can get, this treatment. And she's like a little girl. Like when the story starts, she's like 3. And it made it clear in the beginning, like she's not going to make it. So I knew in the beginning, this girl's going to die. You know what I'm saying? But then then the story kind of goes in reverse where it's like starts in the beginning. So you already know the ending, but you got to work up to it now. Wow, that's crazy. And then, so I knew it was going to happen, and just the way it was described in the book, like I'm not even super emotional. You know what I'm saying? Like you see, like I'm pretty
tearing up right now.
I am a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for the shades, man. And I just really cried. I'm like, I hope nobody sees me crying right now on this beach. You know what I'm saying?
This was at the beach.
Yeah, it was right. And so I read that it was like a 275-page book, and I read it, in that one day. I took like 8:00 ferry home. And in that time, I had lunch, I swam, I did, I went for walks, and I just banged out
That's dope,
that book. It was really, really cool.
So you 8 hours chilling?
It was the best day, one of the best days of my life, man. I really, really enjoyed it.
So that is the ultimate self-care right there. That's why you're so vibrant.
Yeah, man, I tried, man.
I need to do more. That's why I got the gray hair.
Yeah, I only got one son, DJ. You almost have a star in 5, right?
Yeah. No, we stopped. We stopped at 3.
So something I do want to talk about really quickly is, and as part of self-care, is grief, right? Like, all right. So we try to avoid negative feelings often, right? Like, even now, like when we try to, like I was telling the story about there's always things to be thankful for. Like we always try to shift, things to the positive, right? Yeah. But part of that could also a minor side effect or a negative side effect in the wrong way could kind of be like, you sweep things under the rug a little bit. Correct. Right? So it's kind of, you got to find that balance. And I think that's something I struggle with sometimes.
That's actually a really, I think that's actually a really good point because you don't want to be negative. So you might catch it. So there's people that won't catch themselves being negative. And then that's what you're like, oh, you're negative. Then there are people that are realizing that they're being negative, but then they're not confronting. They're like you said, ignoring the negativity. So that's what happened to me in the very beginning. So it's like, oh, I'm complaining. Oh, well, it's a sunny day. But meanwhile, I did not confront what the issue was. And that's when it comes, you sweep it under the rug, and then you have a meltdown because you didn't confront it. Yeah. So I think self-care was one of the things that has helped me out. Writing down was something that was really big and helped me out. and just realizing that something that I thought was negative wasn't really negative, and just to address it. All right, now this is addressed. How are we going to go about and fix it?
Yeah.
So it was a choice of addressing it. How are we going to get rid of it, and how are we going to learn from that? Learn from that experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I like what you said too about kind of like being around negative people, or when people have to say, "Oh, you're being negative
Mm-hmm.
right now." And something I've been very conscious of, in the same vein of as self care, and it might even sound like kind of like being dickish, but I don't think it is. Is like part of self care is like I don't want to say cutting certain people off, but limiting your interactions with certain people.
Correct.
Because the negativity just drains you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just draining. When I'm around negative people, it like drains my energy. Like I feel like Mason, super competitive, right? Mason's one like the most competitive 9-year-old. Like I'm talking about like we're playing 1-on-1. Like he legit thinks he has a shot to beat me. You know what I'm saying? Like
I'm glad he does. He should think.
And
that.
I love that. But he carries when he loses, like he carries on like it was like he had a real chance. You know what I'm saying? Like
Is he a sore loser?
I don't want to say a sore loser. I want to say a competitor that
my son's a sore loser.
Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But either way, so then he starts talking about, well, the ball always goes your way, and I'm like, Mace, like the ball went your way a lot too, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing flip flops. Like you got a lot of rebounds. Like you probably got more rebounds than me because I'm not running around. Like, but you're focusing on the 6 I got instead of being thankful for the 12 you got. And sometimes I gotta tell Mace, like, yo, Mace, man, like you're dragging me down, bro. Like let's be positive right now. And he's like, I hate when you say that dirty. I'm like, I hate when I have to say it, Mason. Like, let's smile and have a good time. And then I make like a fart noise or make like a balls joke, and he'll start laughing, and then it'll be all good.
That is actually like a really good point, and I hope like everyone heard that part. Is that he got 12 rebounds, but he focused on the 6.
That's it. Like, Mason, you out rebounded me, man. What are you upset about? Oh, you got all the bounces. I didn't get all the bounces. But that's all he thought about was the ones he missed.
And that's when, if you take the time out to be thankful and grateful, like you probably won't do that during the game, but like if you might actually, if you program yourself to do it more often, you probably would think of something like that.
I don't know, because they like, so last game, he had a game on Monday. He went 2 for 4. Right? So playing like at his age, the way they play, like 2 for 4 is pretty good. That's a pretty decent night, right? Like when his team's scoring 20 points and he's 2 for 4, like that's good. And he's shooting 50%. After the game, I'm like, Mace, you played so good. He's like, I played freaking horrible, Daddy. Didn't you see me make that bad pass? He's like, yeah, I made a bad pass and I shot an air ball. I'm like, yeah, you did. But you also got a block here. You got 3 rebounds here. You got 2 points. You got 2 baskets. And he's like, yeah, but I shot an air ball, and and he was just so hard on himself.
Yeah.
And I'm not even sure it's sore losing. I think he's just like beats himself up, and it's like hard because I can't talk him out of it when he's like that. I don't know what to do sometimes.
Well, I mean, I think we were all like that when we were younger. You probably grow out of that, but you don't want to keep doing that as you get older, as I did. And I only was, the only way I got corrected is because it was brought up to me to where I was doing something well, and I only pointed out the negative, and I only focused on the negative. And what happens is when you only focus on the negative, you get more negative.
You get more negative.
Whatever you focus on, that's what happens. But,
so okay, no, go.
Go.
No, it's a segue. Are you done talking? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Go.
So that's funny you brought that up, because I just had this conversation and the difference between the law of awareness and the law of attraction. But what you just said seems like you kind of like, do you think the law of attraction, right? You know the difference, right? The law of attraction.
So I know the law of attraction.
Yeah. So the law of attraction. Why don't you, since you know it, you
well, the law of attraction is whatever you focus on, like that's pretty much what's going to happen. So my coach was telling me, it's like, you know why this happened, right? And it's like, you don't even realize it a lot of times. And someone actually posted about it today about, what you focus on, exactly what you get, and exactly what happens. So people who want to focus on negativity will bring that up, and they're like, well, I told you that's going to happen. It's like, well, you borderline manifested for it to happen, because that's what you subconsciously want to happen.
Yeah.
So That's like the law of attraction.
Okay, so the law of awareness is similar, but it's more so like when you think about it. So now, because you think about it, you're aware of it,
Yeah.
and then you start seeing more of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you think about when maybe your friend got like a
black car,
some black car that you swear, oh, I've never seen this kind of car before, right? Then you go home, and on your way home, you pass four of them. You pass four of them. So did you seeing that attract those four cars, or did you seeing it make you aware that those four cars were there?
I don't think I attracted. I think it was awareness because I didn't focus on your car.
Yeah. So when I say law of awareness, that's what I mean. Like you think it. So you think then now you're gonna start seeing opportunities
Right.
to help you get to this goal. When you start thinking of yourself as a brave or confident or strong person, you're gonna start seeing opportunities to be those things.
To be that brave. Yes.
And not only that, but then you can reflect in the past to times when you demonstrated those traits.
I agree. That's actually really big. That's something else we should talk about as well. Awareness and attraction. I think that's big because I just don't think people realize how deep it goes. That I don't think people realize how strong we are, mentally strong we are. The subconscious side of it, what we put out there, it actually comes back.
Yeah,
that's like the real thing. But we will talk about self-care. I don't have anything else to.
No, I have nothing. But that is an interesting topic. That
Yeah.
maybe next week we can
awareness and attraction.
We can get into that
Yeah.
because I have some really interesting and even about how powerful the subconscious and everything is. There's a couple books I've been reading. I'm really excited to actually talk about this. So next week I think that's where we'll go. Awareness and attraction and the subconscious.
All right. I think that's it then.
Hopefully we'll both be looking this fly. When I saw DJ pull up, I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I was tired of wearing like these basic ass outfits, and DJ comes in looking mad Hawaiian and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I'm gonna pull up. I'm stunned. I got my little gold chain on.
Look at this.
Yeah, but he's got the kicks to match. But I mean, if we're pulling off shoes,
yours actually matches the outfit.
I got. Not only do they match, but they're Yeezys. Shout out to Kanye.
Yawn. All right, everybody.
Guys, have a great day. God bless you. Peace and blessings.
Take care of yourself. Get that manicure.
That was awesome.